sponsored by Worldwide Flavor Network. If you are looking to have your own radio show, come and join us here on WWFN Online Radio. Contact us via our website, www.worldwideflavornetwork.com.
Tune in Tuesdays from 7 to 8 p.m. for the Positional Sports Talk Show on the Worldwide Flavor Network with Big Reg
and J3.
Good evening. Good evening, good evening, and welcome to the Positional Sports Talk Show, Post, on the Worldwide Flavor Network. Bringing you a sports talk show made for the fans, from the perspective of fans, presented by lifelong sports fans. We will provide you our opinions and positions on the hottest topics in sports without any hidden agendas or deference to any organization or team. Again, good evening. My name is Big Reg. I'm joined this evening by my partner in crimes, my brother J3. How you feeling, J3?
I feel outstanding and I'm ready to go.
I heard that. My other partner in crime, Big Ed. How you doing this evening, Ed?
Hey, better than I'm supposed to feel. Hope everybody had a good week.
Absolutely.
Yep.
Absolutely. And of course, the other family member, Big Al. How you feeling, Big Al?
Doing wonderful, thank you.
Fantastic. Well, this evening we will discuss the Spence Porter pay-per-view card. Of course, we're going to hit the NFL Week 4, hit college football. We've got a Major League Playoff preview, our weekly high school football report, and other sports topics that caught our attention, and of course, our final post of the evening. So relax and enjoy Post on WWFN Online Radio. So for all you fight fans out there, we had a big mega fight, one of the biggest pay-per-view cards of the year. Mr. Earl Spence Jr. put on a show against Sean Porter. They brawled for 12 long, hard rounds for the 147-pound welterweight unification bout. And I was very, very, very impressed by both fighters.
Absolutely.
Even though Sean Porter lost his belt, I don't think he lost anything on the marketability side. He'll still be up for big fights. Of course, he's calling for a rematch already. So what you guys think of the main event?
Yeah, I don't think Sean wants a rematch. I mean, it sounds good, but in my opinion, Spence took it to him. I mean, he fought his fight, even though Porter kept coming up in him, trying to dig in inside, try to frustrate him. Spence just did what he do. Take it to you.
Yeah, it was one thing that was kind of crazy was I think Earl Spence could have made this fight a whole lot easier if he actually used all of his talents. But he said in the post-fight comments that he specifically decided that he was going to prove to everybody out there that he's going to show that he can bang and box with the best of them at 147, and that he wasn't going to let Sean Porter push him around. So he was going to beat Porter at his own fight, and he actually did it. And that was a wow in my case. What you guys think? I know you may not have been able to catch it, but what's your thoughts on it, 147?
Well, boxing, I was unable to catch the fight. Prior commitments. However, boxing leaves me so frustrated because you look at the fighters, they're battling, but in the back of your mind, you're like, okay, well, is this really the fight we want to see? I would really like to see Spence and Crawford go, but from the looks of it, because of promotional issues or what have you, we might not see that fight for maybe years. And that's the frustrating thing about boxing. Two things: the promotion aspect of boxing, and then the time of the fights. Like, why do we have to see these fights 3 years later, past the prime, It doesn't make sense.
Ed, are you serious?
Yes, I
Are
don't
you
want to
serious?
see. I don't want to see another Mayweather Pacquiao.
Why do you think it's like that?
It's
It's
about
money.
the money.
It's money.
It's all about the money.
Tell them out. It's about the
all
money.
about
but
the money.
but sports shouldn't be dictated purely on money.
What?
Sometimes you have to put the two best fighters in the ring.
Hey, you got to give the fans what they want.
Exactly.
Okay,
Period.
The UFC,
Do you-
the UFC is actually pushing boxing toward that. Boxing had gone, especially during the Mayweather era, especially near the last 5 to 10 years, to pay-per-views. He might fight once a year, once every 18 months, and all the big fighters kind of pick and choose. But because UFC became so dominant in the marketplace and boxing was losing a big market there, they decided they're putting more of these big time fights together. Now, you're right. We still have the issue with the cross promotions. The fight you talk about, Terrence Crawford, Earl Spence actually said after the fight and the post fight that his first option would be to fight Pacquiao
why?
because he's on PBC.
Because it's about
It's
money.
about the
And
money.
Pacquiao is the biggest pay-per-view draw
And there it
in
is.
boxing right now.
There it
That's going
is.
to make him the most money.
I
Right.
don't dispute that for 1 second. But who? Okay, let me ask you a question.
His second was Terrence Crawford, if they can make the fight.
Let's do it.
I feel you.
Yeah, but it's Pacquiao's going to be next in line, hands down. But just to talk about the fight itself, I was fortunate enough to see it. What I gathered from the fight, obviously, I didn't like the split decision. It's called. Where did that come from?
Judges.
Yeah,
Money.
judges.
Exactly.
But you know, he outlanded Porter 221 to 172.
Right.
A lot of his damage, like Joe was talking earlier, was to the body, you know, just to kind of slow Porter down. But as I stated last week, I felt the only way Porter had a chance to win the fight was to be on the attack, which he did.
Oh my goodness. The
time.
whole fight.
And credit Spence for doing what he did. But I'm definitely looking forward to Pacquiao. I want to see that fight. And I think a lot of people don't think that Pacquiao has a chance, but I think he has a chance to win.
Against who?
Spence.
What?
Let me tell you why.
So there you go, Jay. Jay, you just proved my point. You just proved my point. You don't even want to see that fight.
Absolutely not.
Okay, what's going to happen? We already know that. It's going to happen.
Yeah, because it's about money.
I'm not sure about that. Pacquiao had the opportunity to fight Spence last year, and he decided to fight Thurman. There's a good possibility we won't see either one of the two big fights, and Spence is going to end up fighting Danny Garcia next, and maybe waiting. Yeah, Garcia
That's
jumped
fun.
into the ring at the end of it, and that's the easiest fight for them to make, and still a legitimately good fight. Pacquiao would rather fight a smaller guy so he can keep fighting and keep making money. He knows if he fights Spence, he has a good chance of losing. And Pacquiao loses again, he's done.
He's still going to fight.
Spence owes it to himself to fight Crawford. That fight last week, okay, I will give him his credit. Porter, he was legitimate. Why he fought Mickey Garcia, I don't know.
Money.
Okay.
I'm done.
Nobody else. I mean, to be honest, he wanted to start his pay-per-view career, and Sean Porter wouldn't agree to the fight. He offered Sean Porter. He's been offering Sean Porter this fight that just happened for over a year and a half. Keith Thurman definitely wasn't going to fight him.
Well, Thurman had a semi excuse.
Come on now. The man been operated on for more than 2 years. You can't keep using that. Stop.
Well, he did.
And
Well,
when he did fight somebody, he could fight a little bit. The old man beat him. So
The
imagine
old
what
man
happened
beat
to
him.
Spence.
In other words, he don't want no part of it.
Yes. He don't want no parts of that young boy. That young boy been calling out Thurman for over 4 years.
Yeah.
So he fought who he could fight to make the money and to bring the biggest crowd to Dallas, because they fought that
yes,
fight
right.
yes, in
in
Jerry's
Dallas
world.
Stadium,
Yes.
Jerry World. On the co-main event of that card was another fight. You had David Benavidez stop Anthony Durrell in the 9th round, but The reason for the stoppage was a terrible cut over the right eye.
Oh,
That opened up to a
gruesome.
good punch
Gruesome.
by Benavidez, and they had no other choice but to stop. And finally, they gave him probably too many rounds. They gave him 2 additional rounds to fight. But I mean, the eye was wide open and it's starting to turn inside out.
Right.
So they finally had to stop the fight. But I mean, they banged and banged. But I got to give Benavidez much props. He won his title back that he lost outside the ring because of a failed non-performance drug test. And he proved that he's one of the best 168 pounders in the world.
Well, didn't Tyson Fury have a bad cut?
Yeah. I agree.
Again, money.
I agree. Tyson Fury was fighting for top rank on ESPN.
Yes.
They didn't stop that. Nope. PBC said, we're going to let the stop.
Which is good. I agree with that
Absolutely.
decision.
That was a smart thing
yes,
to do.
that was good.
Because that eye was, whoa.
And then for you real boxing heads who actually watched the fights before the main event, in a terrible decision, Mario Barrios got a unanimous decision over Russian Batar Akhmedov, and I'm probably killing his name, I'm sorry. But he put it on Barrios. Barrios won the first 4 rounds. I give him that. He outboxed him. He even caught him in the 4th round with a little short punch that made him put his gloves down. But that Russian hunted him from the beginning of the fight. As soon as the ring ding, he was coming forward. And by the 6th round, I started saying to people who was over my house, I said, uh-oh, Barrios in trouble.
And see, and this goes back to the boxing, the regulations, and like who makes the decisions as far as how these fights are scored. Like there has to be someone that says, okay, this is the standard, this is what we go by. I don't know. I don't have the answer. I'm not a boxing
There's never been an answer.
aficionado on your level, George. But hey, I don't know. It frustrates you watching a beautiful sport, but it's so frustrating watching it.
I agree. Unfortunately, as long as you have separate sanctioning bodies and not a universal organization, we're going to get these bad calls. Moving on, NFL Week 4. I mean, we started the week with 8 undefeated. And we ended the week with 3 undefeated teams. We have the New England Patriots, Kansas City Chiefs out of the AFC, and the 49ers who had a bye week. So they were actually able to escape the NFC loss by all their previous undefeated teams. Any games jump out at you guys?
I'm gonna start with the Detroit Kansas City game. Good game. Now, what I love most about that game, Mahomes, he did his thing with no touchdown passes. He adjusted to the flow of the game. It was tough. I mean, they went against one of the top secondaries in all football. And once in that second half, once he figured out what was going on, and he started using his legs and he started really attacking them. He did what he needed to do. And I keep hating to hear the topic all the time. Well, he's a really good quarterback, but in my eye, he's great and he's an elite quarterback, because elite quarterbacks, they always find different ways to win the game for their team. So I thought it was an exceptional game.
Sure does look like Russell Wilson out there, doesn't it?
Yeah.
I think he's way ahead of Russell Wilson, considering this is really his second year start compared to where Russell was. He's growing each week, and he's what they call a force multiplier. He makes the people around him better.
Mm-hmm.
And he figured out a way to win a game where he wasn't able to do it through the air like he normally does. And that showed me a whole lot last week. So I agree with you, Al. That was an impressive game. I give my hats off to the Lions. They should be 3-1.
Yes.
Yes, they should be.
Yep.
Lions are playing
They're
good
playing some
football, and I didn't think that the Belichick clone would be able to turn that organization around. But looks like he's on his way.
Yes.
What you think? What caught your eye, Ed?
There was a few games that caught my eye. Starting with the Thursday night game between the Packers and the Eagles, and how at the end of that game the Packers lost. It was beyond me. But then I really sat down and thought about it for a minute. And when the running back got hurt for Green Bay, they completely abandoned the run. Like, they did not even attempt to run. Like, Aaron Rodgers threw for over 400 yards, but it wasn't really necessary. They had the game fully in control. And Aaron Rodgers is continuously throwing. Sometimes you need to shrink it. You got to slow it down, bleed the clock, run the football, at least try. Because Philly offered no resistance as far as the passing game. So I don't know why you would leave. I know they had, like I said, their starter went out. There's a running back went out for Green Bay. So anyway, so that caught my eye. Another thing I was concerned with that caught my eye was the Dallas and the New Orleans game. I think Dallas, it's going to sound crazy, but I think they need a new coach. Jason,
Did you say Dallas?
Dallas.
Really?
Yes.
How'd you guess that one?
Because Dallas is living. Jason Garrett has no type of strategy about him.
Hey, where you been? That's been like the last 4 years.
I understand that. But
Longer than that.
that
Yeah.
offensive line, the mystery, the mystique of that offensive line, it's past. Their offensive line is no longer the best in the NFL. Their left tackle can't stay healthy.
Exactly.
Their left guard is inexperienced. Their center is coming back from a major illness last year. Martin doesn't quite look the same, but I will tell you, Collins on the right side, the right tackle, he does look good. But yeah, they kept the game plan, just run Ezekiel Elliott in the middle, 1 yard in a cloud of dust, was not getting it done. But I was proud of that game because we saw the showcase of two black quarterbacks. Bridgewater looked good. It was really good to see him back after the horrific injury he suffered. And Dak, he's Dak.
Well, let's just get credit where credit's due. Because last week, as I stated, I said New Orleans is going to beat Dallas.
Yes.
Credit New Orleans defense. They played a great game. They really shut them down in all aspects of the game. They did it. They did what they needed to do. Bridgewater, we're happy. He's getting his opportunity to play. And they got the win. And just remember now, they played last year. And if I'm not mistaken, Reds, wasn't the score the same?
I believe it was 13. Yes.
It was close.
It was like 2 or 3 point
13-10.
game.
Yeah, it was a 3-point game.
Same game strip, same personnel. Nothing has changed over a year. They both played the same style of football, and it became a defensive game. So, but it's just one of those games.
But I'm glad Bridgewater is back. But the difference in this game was Drew Brees wasn't in town. I mean, he was there, but he was flexing his thumb on the sidelines. So you can't beat New Orleans without Drew Brees. It doesn't bode well.
Let's give some credit to Mr. Sean Payton.
Oh yeah.
He has taken his team to Seattle, which is one of the hardest places in the league to play. With the backup quarterback, he got a W. Then came home against arguably going into the game the number one team in the NFC.
Yes, not anymore.
And shut it down.
Yes.
Shut the running game down.
Yes.
Said, Dak, you're going to have to beat us, and we don't think you can protect him.
But I don't think they gave Dak a chance to beat him.
Exactly. The offensive line had a horrible day.
Yeah, you did.
And when you have Zeke have 18 carries and only 35 yards, you're not going to win much, if anything.
And one other game that stood out to me was the beat down Tampa Bay administered to the Rams.
Wow.
I think the Rams are done. If you look at that team
Exposed.
exposed, if you look at that team with Todd Gurley having arthritic knees, and I don't know why they won't just come out and like admit it. It's like say, hey, you know what? We need a back. That
$30 million more guaranteed.
I know, but McVay's whole you're right. McVay's whole offense is predicated on Gurley, and Gurley is not Gurley anymore. And if you look on the defense, yeah, they do have the 2-time reigning defensive player of the year, Aaron Donald. But who else? Go name one player.
You can't.
Not past his prime.
You can't.
You got Peters who got a pick 6 in the game, but you're right. And even Donald looks a little different without Sue. Sue took up a lot of stuff and let Aaron just be itself a lot last year. Even with his double teams, you had that other big body.
Mhm.
They don't have it this year. Or at least no one that they have to really contend with and be worried about each week. So yeah, I think the Rams have some issues that they got to figure out. They're hoping that they can game manage Gurley to the end of the season and postseason, and then unleash him and hopefully get a 4 to 6 game run where he's close to himself versus trying to use him up at the end of the season. Don't know if it's going to work, but I guarantee you they'll be drafting a running back next year.
Yeah.
Oh, no doubt.
Well, Wade needs to get busy on the defensive side.
Worldwide Flavor Network.
Yeah, defense is optional.
Yeah, there's one other game we obviously have to talk about, and that was the Ravens Cleveland Browns game. Wow, that was a smack in the mouth. Cleveland came in here and they punished the Ravens. They got back. Cleveland actually got back to what they were doing last year, handing the ball off the Chuck.
Didn't we talk about that last week?
Yes, we did.
Didn't we talk about that?
They did the exact same thing. They got behind in the Cleveland game, so I could see how they got away from their run, but they still needed to establish the run early and often. But we can't worry about the offense with the Ravens. They've given up over 500 yards on defense 2 weeks in a row.
Yep.
I know they've played some good offensive teams, but the defense has got problems. They can't slow anybody down. That's the issue.
When Brandon Williams, when their nose guard, when he goes out of the game and he didn't play this particular game, he was a scratch at the last minute scratch. When he goes out, the whole defense is just different. And then you compound with the losses of Mosley in the middle. It just doesn't bode well for the Ravens. But I will say that Lamar Jackson, look, he's growing, he's exciting, but he should. The last 2 games, which coincidentally were 2 losses, he's approached 40 attempts.
Right.
The last 2 games, and really this game against Cleveland, it wasn't so gone where they had to throw.
I agree.
And another thing is, I do not like teams chasing points. Like kick the extra point and call it a day.
Yeah, but you gotta change it up every now and then. Hey, you can't be so daggone predictable.
The world of analytics.
Okay.
Extra points are not a gimme in the NFL anymore.
Absolutely.
No, they're not a gimme, but what 2-point conversion is a gimme?
Well, I mean, if you have confidence in your offense and you know for a fact that you got that right play that's gonna get you those 2 points, I mean, why not try it?
Especially early in the game.
The Ravens need to get back to their identity. I know they are expanding the offense, but the identity for not only offense, but for the defense is to control the ball.
Mm-hmm.
Have some big plays every now and then, but they need to control the ball. The more their defense is on the field, the more they get exposed. But I think Harbaugh will figure that out, and they'll make some adjustments. I think they'll still be fine, but they definitely have to make some adjustments.
Or Harbaugh won't be fine.
Wow. Really?
Yes. He better make some adjustments or he won't be fine. You know, he was living on a string anyway last year until he inserted Mr. Jackson in the lineup. And how did they win these games? They ran the ball.
Wow, y'all heard it here first. Harbaugh's seat is warming up. Him and his brother got issues, huh? We'll get to his brother later. Just real quick, back to that Tampa Bay game. I just got to give my hats off to Jameis Winston. I know I said maybe week 2 that I didn't think Jameis was going to hold on to his job too much longer. Bruce Arians and the homeboy, DC native Byron Leftwich, the offense coordinator,
They work.
are doing some great things. Jameis is starting to look like a first round, possibly franchise quarterback. So
On the field.
Yeah.
On the field. Let's be real about this. Let's see what he does throughout the season and keeps his composure and acts like a person instead of someone else.
then we had that discussion last
Again,
week. Off the field.
Absolutely, we did. But I just want to make it known that you can don't get excited because 1 week he doing well because he can easily go back out and get some crabs. Need I say more?
Now I know y'all wonder when we're gonna get to it, so let's go ahead and talk about it.
Really?
I'd like to say congratulations to my sister and my boy Aki on the W as their New York Giants beat the hopeless Washington Redskins. I mean, and I do mean hopeless.
Yeah, I agree. It's pretty disgusting. I mean, we can't even score a touchdown. Really? Against the Giants?
The worst defense in the league coming into the game, and all they could get was 3 points. And then at the end, I know you say I shouldn't listen to Gruden, but it's so funny to me to listen to his post things. All he wants to talk about is what the defense isn't doing.
Right.
Dude, you scored 3 points against
Three.
the worst defense.
3.
I don't want the Redskins season to go this way, but I guess it has to in order to get Gruden out of there. But his press conferences are hilarious. He started with Trent Williams and went down the line to explain why his offense.
He ain't been on the field in how long?
I get it, and that's what I couldn't believe he was saying, and I was like, what? He actually went there and said, well, I can't call plays, and he listed all the players that were out. And I was like, wait a minute, well, Trent wasn't even in camp.
Right.
But he listed him first.
Right.
I love him. He's funny. You have to admit he's funny.
Yeah.
And for all the Redskin fans out there, I would ask that you do me a big favor, and hopefully the organization will hear it, even though I know they have deaf ears. Please stop hoping that they put Haskins back in.
Yeah.
The best thing for Dwayne and his future is that he never sees the field again until after Gruden's gone. Gruden set him up for failure.
Agreed.
Yes.
Agreed.
You missing
Agreed.
2 more starting linemen.
Right.
You throw this man in the game in the second quarter. He only had a handful of snaps all week to prepare, and then you say, "Go get him, kid."
But you know, it's if something has happened in the past, it becomes a pattern.
RG3.
Yes, RG3.
Need I say more?
Yeah, and that's what I was alluding to. You have to set these players, these quarterbacks, particularly quarterbacks, you have to set them up to succeed and not fail.
Mm-hmm.
I understand Keenum, got hurt, what have you, but the man, he was not ready, and he shouldn't even be on that field yet. It's particularly behind that offensive line. If you don't believe me, it will cut great careers short. Andrew Luck.
Absolutely.
You have to do everything you can to protect your and this is
Cam
an
Newton.
investment. Cam Newton.
Right. Yeah, but
And the list goes on.
But we already knew going into the season that our offensive line was terrible. So why would you, like you said, put him in there knowing that he's going to fail?
Here's my conspiracy theory. I think he did it on spite.
He did.
He probably
He
did.
actually did do it, Reg. That was great. Make that point. He's really pissed off at the owner, obviously. So that was why he did what he did. It's a shame, but bottom line is, like you say, they Hackins. He needs to just be on the sideline for right now, and not out there because, like you said, you're feeding him to the wolves, and he's going to wind up getting hurt before the season's out if they put him in there. You say no offensive line. It's a big mess. And then, well, I was riding in the car coming down here, and I heard that they were giving the lines out for the next games. And I realized that Redskins got Miami.
No, the next game is
No, we
England.
played the
New England,
Patriots.
sorry,
We played
I'm
the
sorry.
Patriots.
Yeah,
Then Miami.
Then Miami.
Oof.
And they were already talking about. They didn't even really want to talk about the New England game. They know how that game's going to go. But they were talking about the Miami game, and they're like, they're an underdog. And I'm like,
To another winless team.
Another winless team.
The rumor, And actually, it was actually reported today, and I got to give Stephen A. Smith his credit. He's saying that he's spoken to numerous individuals that are behind the scenes in the Redskins organization, and Jay Gruden, it's not if he's going to get fired. They were considering firing him this week, but they did not want to bring a new coach in with the Patriots coming to town and really making the situation worse.
Is that gonna make any difference?
So the rumor is he's supposed to get fired next week after the Patriots lost.
I did hear that too.
Again, does 1 week make a difference? And the Patriots? I mean, really?
You give a new coach or new interim coach a chance to at least have a chance to win a game against another potentially winless team. Miami's got a bye, I believe, this week, so they'll be winless going into that game against the Skins versus sending them out to the firing squad. Because you know Bill gonna get you.
No mercy.
None.
And just some quick hits. Hats off to Carolina. Tough folk win over the Texans. Kyle Allen is won his last 3 games as the starting quarterback of the Carolina Panthers. Cam, you better get healthy soon, partner, or you're going to be looking for a new organization.
I think he's already prepared for that.
The Raiders beat Indianapolis Colts. The Raiders actually playing some decent ball every now and then. Derek Carr's looking better and better, like he might be a good quarterback finally, if he can deal with that other group.
It's still early in the season, bro.
Burfict's gone.
It's still early.
Oh, that was absolutely ridiculous. Burfict may be gone for good. I mean, what he did on that play was the textbook of what they're trying to take out of the game. Lowered his head, launched, and aimed straight for the guy's helmet. Luckily, the guy got right up.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
We've seen that before, though.
Over and over.
over and over again.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Hats off to Kobe Brissett, though, in a loss. 24 for 46, 265, and 3 TDs. He's proven that he deserves that starting spot. And after his 2-year contract's up, he may be able to cash in.
We hope.
Chargers beat the Dolphins. Enough said.
Mm-hmm.
Seahawks over the Cardinals. Enough said.
Yep.
The Broncos. I don't know if it's karma or something, but the Broncos should be 2-2. They've had games. They've lost 2 games, last-second field goals, where Joe Flacco, gotta give him credit, has driven his team down the field,
Flacco
scored a touchdown, take the lead, and watch the defense, which is supposed to be the strength of the team, give it up.
Yeah, their defense is not as strong as they used to be.
Yeah, they're struggling, and then they just lost Chubb for the season.
Big loss.
That's the huge loss. They're going to have a long season.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they're going to be tough to watch. And I think, Mr. Elway, I think your seat is not just warm, it's getting hot. Pass, great quarterbacks don't make good GMs. So, coming up this coming week, we got some nice games. Got the Thursday night matchup, another good Thursday night. I mean, looks like the NFL actually, tried to make an effort, at least in the beginning of the season, to give us some decent Thursday night games. They're usually trash.
They are.
We got Rams going to Seattle to see which team can take a lead in that jockeying for the NFC West.
Seattle.
And also to see, if they can keep pace with them 49ers who come off their bye, looking to continue as an undefeated team.
It's just those Thursday night games. They're just so hard on the players. I think that because of the physical nature of football, NFL football, I just think that Thursday it's just too soon.
What? Hey, are you serious?
I think you play on Sunday, right? You probably can't even walk on Monday unless you hit a load of that stuff they smoking now or take some of that whatever pain medicine and Toradol. There we go. But I just think you abuse. You need 7 days to recoup.
Do you work every day?
Oh, here we go.
Do you work every day? That's all I want.
I have a regular people job.
but you get paid to do a job. Am I
Yeah,
right or wrong?
Yeah.
That's all I want to know.
I'm with
J3,
Ed. I'm with
I
Ed.
understand what you're saying. You're right. You're right. You
Okay.
have. I see you have no mercy on athletes, high paid athletes.
Nope.
Right.
Not
but,
when you getting paid millions of dollars, bro.
but it takes away from the fans' experience because I don't really believe you getting their best.
Yeah, you're not, because a lot of them are still sore, especially the running backs. They're the ones that really take the blunt of it.
I'm sorry. How many running backs do you have on your roster?
Well, we're talking to major stars now. I mean, most of them have anywhere
my
between
goodness.
20, 30 carries. I mean,
Really?
not carries, but touches
Really?
a game. That's a lot.
We hear you, Joe. We hear you, Joe. But I'm agreeing with the other fellas. You on the island on
I'll
this.
take that. I'll take that.
I mean,
You want this
wow. I mean, to ask people to basically, especially people don't talk about it. The worst are the offensive and defensive linemen who constantly bang into each other every play for an average of 60 to 70 plays a game. That's like having multiple car accidents, and then they say 3 days later you got to play again.
But you do train for this sport that you love and you get paid for. Am I right?
You train for that, but you don't. Your body is not trained for playing
I had
twice
trauma like
in
that.
a week.
Wow.
But the NFL is greedy, and that's a lot of money. So that's why we
Absolutely.
got Thursday night.
Absolutely.
You got Tampa Bay at the Saints for the NFC South lead.
Should be a good game.
The Ravens at the Steelers.
Yeah.
Which team's gonna correct themselves and get back on the winning ways? Can't wait to see Green Bay at Dallas. Colts at Chiefs Sunday night football, and a good Monday night. Browns against the undefeated 49ers. Are your 49ers going to continue their winning ways, partner?
Yes, I think they will handle that game as well. It's going to be a tough game, though.
What's your prediction on the score?
Picking the score, I'm going to say 21-17.
In favor of?
49.
Really? You actually asked that.
He started. Hey.
49ers, man. 49ers.
Now we move to the next level, good old college football. And it was one of those weekends where, wasn't a whole lot to talk about. With the exception, Clemson got a gift.
Can Mac
They
Brown
did.
go back into retirement?
Mac Brown's actually got North Carolina playing some good football because they were horrible.
But why? Here we go. Why? Just kick the extra point, go into overtime, and college football overtime is actually
A quarter.
fair.
Right.
It's actually both teams actually have a shot to win.
That's right.
True.
Why go for the glory? It makes no. Go for the win.
I agree with you, Ed. I would have did the same thing.
Wait. Hold. You said, I believe you believe in the 2 point.
Not when you are heavily underdog. Wait a minute. Hold on now. Whoa. Not when you're a heavily underdog. And the fact that if they would just kick the extra point, you know how much more pressure would have been on Clemson to come through with that game?
I agree. Look, I want Clemson to lose every game.
Don't let that vibe slip in.
I'm just joking, fellas.
Yeah.
I hear you.
Don't look at the shirt. No, for real. I like Dabo. I respect Clemson's program. He's done a phenomenal job. But I just want I don't believe Mac Brown did everything in his power to win the game. The odds tell me that if I at least kick this extra point, I can live another day. And then the play call.
The play call, I'll give you the play call. I actually kind of understand his logic. I'm not sure if I did it, but I understand it. He was like, we were getting tired. We're overmatched.
Yes.
They have not only better players at most positions, they have more players.
Yes.
So to put it in an extra period where we have to stop them now from the 25-yard line from scoring versus making them travel the whole field, he thought his odds were slim. So he took a shot. I ain't mad at him for taking a shot.
But he tried to run. Like throw it in the end zone.
I mean, coach is cold.
Again,
Coach is cold.
the offensive coordinator, he asked the offensive coordinator for a play that he thought would work. So he thought that triple option look would fake out Clemson. you can't outrun Clemson to the sidelines. They found that out the hall.
Clemson, every player on that Clemson defense more than likely is going to be in the NFL. They were not fooled.
Right.
I hear you.
But it was a great game.
It was a good game. Good game. Bama did what Bama does. Tua had a crazy game.
Roll
26
Tide.
for 36, 416 yards, and 6 TDs. It seems like he's breaking Alabama records every other week. They have an open week this week. Clemson has an open week this week. Georgia's coming off an open week. They face hapless Tennessee, so that's an easy W. Jalen Hurts continues his Heisman push. Oklahoma 55-16 over Texas Tech. Again, no contest. Jalen another 4 TDs. Ohio State's putting up video game numbers. I think they playing NCAA what's it, 2019K or whatever it is. I mean, Justin Fields is putting up crazy numbers. 48-7 against Nebraska.
And then they move up in the ranking also.
They're 4
Yeah,
right
yeah,
now, right?
Yeah.
I mean, they look good.
Yeah.
I mean, Nebraska was supposed to be coming back with their coach Scott Frost in his second or third season, but he got pounded. LSU's gonna come off an open week. Auburn beat down hapless Mississippi State. I mean, when a team runs the ball 45 times against you and you can't stop it,
It's a long game.
and you're supposed to be an SEC.
Long
West team.
game. Yeah.
Come on, man. Got to do better. Florida shouldn't even the schedule Towson. That was ridiculous.
I'm still trying to figure that one out.
How?
How?
Money.
Oh, Towson got paid.
Exactly.
They got paid
Exactly.
for that, but,
Money.
Yeah, it's a bad L. Michigan looks worse after Wisconsin struggled with Northwestern, who's having a terrible season this year. I mean, they got the W, but it's only 24-15. So what does that say about Michigan, who Wisconsin ran up in them like
Then we talk about
With-
somebody's job is in jeopardy. As do we need to mention his
The
name
Wisconsin,
again?
going back to that Michigan real quick, the Michigan and Wisconsin game, that was the first time in a long time that I've seen a team get physically beat up.
Yeah.
Like beat up.
yeah, Michigan quit in the second half.
And it's weird hearing, seeing that from a Michigan team. You think Michigan, that's like a blue blood. I mean, Harbaugh's a tough guy. I mean, you look at his track record at San Francisco, at Stanford, at San Diego State. All his teams were known for toughness, and I didn't see 1 ounce of toughness. And so and plus they're slow.
Yeah,
they just look slow on TV.
So the Pac-12, I think, is officially eliminated from the college football playoffs because they have no undefeated teams left. So we're gonna move on. And I'm sorry, Maryland, you look good for 2 weeks, but what Penn State did to you in your blackout, you should be ashamed of yourself. Enough said. So week 6, we got Auburn, number 7 Auburn at number 10 Florida, number 25 Michigan State. Hopefully we'll give Ohio State their first real contest of the year. Iowa at Michigan. If Michigan loses this, Jim Harbaugh's seat gets red-eyed.
Well, you better go ahead and
Yeah.
strike that up right now because
Absolutely.
them boys from Iowa, they coming in ready to roll.
And they're gonna run the ball
Yes.
hard.
So last week we were told we were going to get our Major League Baseball playoff preview. So, I mean, without further ado, kick it over to Big Al.
Big Al, talk to us.
Tell us a little bit about that final week of the season and what you're looking forward to in these playoffs that kick off tonight, 8 o'clock.
Yeah, 8 o'clock. We're going live. So biggest thing to this evening, we got the Washington. Like I said, they're playing at 8 o'clock. So I expect them to hold serve. It's not going to be easy because the biggest issue with the Nationals this year has been their bullpen. They are next to last in the bullpen this year. And guess who was the worst? The Orioles. So that's pretty much what's going on with that game. I do like Tampa Bay versus Oakland. That's tomorrow.
Correct.
But my sleepers before I give out who I think is going to be in the World Series. Watch out for Minnesota. They're playing the Yankees, and when you play a team and it's only a 5-game series, anything can happen in a 5-game series.
Yep.
I've seen it happen many times. It's
Yep.
not 7; it's only 5 games. A lot of people discount that, going into to the series. So they're a team in the American League that I keep an eye on them. As far as the National League is concerned, I do like the Nats. They're right now the hottest team going into the playoffs. So they're a team, and now mind you, they have lost the last 4 times in the playoffs. They can't seem to get out that first round. But I think tonight they're gonna take care of the business. Now, as far as who I think is going to be in the World Series, I got Houston.
I agree.
And I got the Dodgers. And I got Houston winning it.
Oh, we
hands down. I believe they're going to take care of the business. They've got everything going for them. They got the premier pitching. They got the bullpen. They got their lineup is elite from top to bottom. They're one of the best teams in strikeout ratio. They hit the ball. They put the ball in play. So, but that's pretty much it for right now.
Well, you heard it first, Big Al. That's the Major League Baseball predictions. I'm hoping that the Nats can break through, but I got to go with the man who knows it better than me. Next, we got our local high school sports report. So what you got for us, J3?
So real quick, we got number 9, St. Francis Academy of Baltimore, who is now 5-1. USA Today Super 25 beats number 18, St. Joseph Regional over Montel, New Jersey, 28-0. Then we have number 8, Gonzaga, 5-0 in USA Today Super 25, number 1 in the Washington Post. They beat Plan of Tampa, Florida, 48-7. Next, we got St. John's, who was 3-3, was number 4 ranked in Washington Post. They lost to the number 1 Today USA Super 25 Matter Day of Santa Ana, California, Friday, 53-24. Next we got DeMatha, who was 4-1. They beat Life Christian Academy 36-0. And then lastly, we have Good Counsel, who was 4-1. They beat Friendship Collegiate 21-12. Next, they play St. Mary's Rankin on Friday, 7 p.m.
Appreciate that, partner. Appreciate that. And hopefully some of you caught that St. John's Mater Day game. It was actually on ESPN2 this past Friday. Mater Day, they're a monster, and they got an Alabama commit, Bryce Young. So, yeah, check out the high school football. Each week, ESPN has 1 or 2 games. Other things that caught my eye this week out there in sports, WNBA playoffs continue. I'd like to say hats off to these Washington Mystics.
Yeah.
They beat the Las Vegas Aces 3-1. Shut them out after we left here last week. And then started the WNBA Finals with a win Sunday against the Connecticut Sun, 95-86, behind the 2-time MVP, current MVP, Elena Deladon, 22-10-5. Game 2's tonight at 8 p.m. Also, for you big-time sports fans, the World Track and Field Championships are currently going on. They started September 27th. They run through October 6th. The USA has had a couple of major wins. Christian Coleman won the 100. Justin Gatlin came in second. Noah Lyles won the 200. Donovan Brozier won the 800. Sam Kendricks won the pole vault for the second time. Christian Taylor won his 3rd long jump title. And Allison Felix broke the existing record for world championships with her 12th world championship, passing Usain Bolt. Yes. So for our final post, J3, what you got?
I just want to say thank you for everybody who supports our show. Keep on listening.
Ed?
Yeah, I'm really interested in. I'm going to be following very, very close the pay for play bill that just passed in California and how it affects athletes moving forward. For over a century now, the NCAA has been running an organization similar to the mafia. No, and I'm very curious to see how that plays out.
Yeah, that's going to be interesting. You've got I think it's up to 8 other states that are currently either in the works or going to be in the works of passing similar legislation. So by the time the California law kicks in, there will probably be a nationwide law for that. And the NCAA is going to have to get off the pot and give in. What you got for us, Al?
Just looking forward to seeing if Dallas can come back. I'm gonna make another prediction. Green Bay is going to beat them.
Wow. Okay.
Mm.
Next week, I'm going to talk to you a little bit about the University of Houston red shirt drama out there. I wanted to talk tonight, but we run out of time, so we'll hit that next week. Do a little research. Look up University of Houston football red shirts. I'd like to thank you all for tuning in and listening. We truly appreciate your time. We also appreciate the opportunity to share our position on sports with you. Please tune in next Tuesday at 7 p.m. for our next show, or download the show via Mixcloud, Facebook, or YouTube. Please pass along the information to your friends, family, and social media network. We really appreciate all your support, and hopefully you can continue to allow us to grow. Have a good evening. Have a great week. This has been the Positional Sports Talk Show on the Worldwide Flavor Network. Please stay tuned for Overtime, featuring Miss Color Beauty up next. Have a great evening. Bye-bye.
See ya.
Peace.
Oh.
Yeah, that pay for play. You know what Ohio State's AD came out and said? He said he's concerned that paying players will bring in unscrupulous players and make it an unfair advantage. I'm like, wait, hold up. It's already an unfair advantage. Because think about it. College football has reached a point where it's almost boring. Like, if you think about it, there's only really like maybe 2 or 3 games a week that really matter or is